Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into Stalkers, the brand new free-to-play medieval fantasy extraction game that just dropped yesterday, August 13th, 2025. I've sunk a few hours into it already, and let me tell you, it's pretty darn cool. But the big question is it worth your time? And is it the dark and darker killer everyone's been hyping it up to be? Let's break it down, share some comparisons, and talk about what makes this game tick, especially for someone like me who's all about that PvP action. Stick around and let me know your thoughts in the comments. First off, let's talk about how Dungeon Stalkers feels compared to other games in the genre, like Dark and Darker, Dungeonborne, and even Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery. Right away, the overlays and UI in Dungeon Stalkers remind me a lot of Dungeonborne, and I'm totally here for it. The menus are clean, the vibe is similar, and it's got that polished look that pulls you in. But don't get it twisted, while the visuals might feel familiar, the gameplay is completely its own beast. It's not like Dungeonborne, and it's definitely not a carbon copy of Dark and Darker either. This game has its own identity, and that's something I respect. Now, I'm a PvP guy through and through. I love the thrill of hunting other players in these medieval fantasy extraction games. PvE? Yeah, I try to ignore it as much as possible unless it's absolutely unavoidable. In Dark and Darker and Dungeonborne, you could pretty much steamroll through the PvE stuff. Mobs? No problem. Just run past them, grab the loot, and get to the real action, fighting other players. Even in Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery, which, let's be real, I think is pretty bad, the PvE was skippable, so you could focus on PvP. But Dungeon Stalkers? It's a different story. The dungeons are packed with mobs, and they're not just pushovers you can sprint by. The hallways are crawling with enemies, and if you try to rush through, you're probably going to get slapped. You really have to clear rooms carefully, which slows things down a bit. For someone like me who's all about chasing players, that can feel like a drag. That said, the core concept of Dungeon Stalkers is awesome. I love the armor system. It's one of the standout features. Your armor has its own health bar, and when it takes too much damage, it can break, leaving you vulnerable, but you can repair it or swap it out for new gear you find in the dungeon. It's such a cool mechanic that adds a layer of strategy. You're not just managing your character's health, you're also keeping an eye on your armor's durability. It makes every fight feel tense and meaningful, whether you're up against mobs or players. Speaking of characters, I've been maining the warrior. Pretty sure his name is Baran, but don't quote me on that. I'm still learning the names. Baran's awesome for both PvP and PvE. He's tanky, hits hard, and feels like the most reliable pick. I also tried out a mage and an archer, and they're rough. Like really rough, but as you saw in the gameplay at the start of the video, I got absolutely wrecked by goblins with those characters. Goblins, I mean, come on. In a PvPvE game, dying to mobs before you even get a chance to fight another player is just frustrating. It's apparently normal for the genre Piscinana, but I'm not a fan. In Dark and Darker and Dungeonborne, the same PvE felt like a speed bump, not a brick wall. Even Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery handled this better, letting you skip PvE to focus on player fights. For me, Dungeon Stalkers PvE is solid if you're into it, but it's a bit too in your face for someone who just wants to hunt other players. Overall though, the PvE in Dungeon Stalkers is pretty well done, especially depending on your character choice. Baran makes it feel manageable and fun, but the mage and archer, they're struggling out there. If you're a PvE fan, you might love the challenge of clearing rooms and tackling the Witch's Curse events that shake things up. But if you're like me and live for PvP, the heavy PvE focus can feel like it's holding you back from the good stuff. So, is Dungeon Stalkers the Dark and Darker killer? Honestly, I don't think so. Not yet, at least. It's got a lot going for it. The armor system is dope, the dungeons are intense, and the free-to-play model makes it super accessible, but the heavy PvE focus and the fact that some characters feel underpowered in both PvP and PvE hold it back from dethroning Dark and Darker. It's not quite there for someone like me who's all about player versus player action. That said, it's still a blast, and I can see it carving out its own niche in the genre. What do you guys think? Have you tried Dungeon Stalkers yet? Are you vibing with the PvE? Or are you like me, wishing you could skip straight to the PvP? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know what you love or hate about the game. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my future rants or gameplay. Until next time, peace out.